Dockers handle 90% of international trade and provide a critical link in global supply chain, loading and unloading cargo in the world's docks, ports, and wharves, says the International Transport Workers Federation. This is why the hosting of the first Day of the Dock Worker in Nigeria has been described as a milestone for the local industry. The event, which was organized by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency NIMASA, held last Thursday in Lagos and celebrated dock workers for their vital contribution to the overall efficiency of the seaports. Themed Healthy Worker, Better Productivity, pioneer and current dock workers, stevedores, and regulators attended the occasion. Addressing stakeholders and guests, a visibly elated president of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, Comrade Adewale Adeyanju, said that the professionalism of the dock labor industry in Nigeria has come a long way.
It's like a new day in the life of dock workers in Nigeria, where they have rejected us in the past, but thank God for the new development that we call collective bargaining agreement that has to do with continuation of service. A worker that is not well remunerated, you find it to become a nuisance to the employers. A AT worker will become a very proactive worker. A worker that is not well fed, how do you expect it to perform? It does not perform, but what we are seeing today is to tell the whole world that they are professional workers that you can compare with any other port workers all over the world.
There is a lot of changes. Unlike before, we work on wages. Later we can't work on tonnage. So there was a time you can work, but you may not get your money. But the present government now can do it. You get your money. Before the don't workers say they don't go to school, they are illiterate. But nowadays you can get a graduate as a labor, you can get a graduate as a crane operator, you can get a graduate as a tally clerk.
30 years ago, the industry, if you're a criminal, you finish your service at Kirikiri, you still come back to the dock. But now you cannot do it. You can't enter the port. All the terminal operator, they know what to do. So as a matter of respect, we are thanking the federal government, we are thanking the state, we are thanking even ourselves.
So we suffered a lot, but God, in His own infinite goodness, we're back to the port. And leadership began to come one after the other, but there's no one like the president, PG, Adeyanju. This one is happening for the first time in the history of dock industry. So it is in his own time, he has immortalized his name because of this. So we are grateful to him.
On his part, Alhaji Ahmed Tijani Ramalan, former executive chairman, Joint Maritime Labour Industrial Council, and pioneer chairman of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, extolled NIMASA for regulating the working conditions, welfare and career progression of dock workers in line with relevant international labour conventions and NIMASA Act.
To start, first of all, congratulating the able Dr. Bashir Jamu, Director General and Chief Executive of the NIMASA, that is the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, and the Executive Director of Maritime Labour Services for this day, 7th December 2023, which is the Maiden annual celebration of the dock workers of Nigeria. I'm so happy that the theme of today's event is the healthy of the dock workers, and I can see, we thank God Almighty, the dock workers are looking very good under the champion of the blue economy of Nigeria. Distinguished delegates, comrades, the state of dock work and dock labor employers, whom we all know as stevedores in Nigeria, is as old as the advent of the sea transport. And it has been linked with the development of shipping port activities in Nigeria. The practice of dock work and stevedoring dates back to colonial period. I would like to say that the construction of modern ports in the early 20th century marks the resemblance of law and order.
NIMASA Director General Dr. Bashir Jamo OFR, who delivered the welcome address, charged stevedoring companies to ensure that all dock workers are enrolled in pension schemes. He also stressed the need to stick to international guidelines and conventions by allowing only approved stevedores on board installations.
We have to put our hands on deck to make sure that we make the dock workers have what it deserves. Recently, we introduced the biometrics, the issue whereby touts can go to the port under the pretext of dock worker is no longer involved. You have your own biometric ID card. What we are trying to do now is to ensure that we encourage the stakeholders to build what we call conditions of service for these dock workers. The conditions of service must come with remunerations, must come with entitlement, must come with pensions and gratuity.
Representatives of the Federal Ministry of Labor and Productivity, Nigerian Ports Authority, Seaport Terminal Operators Association of Nigeria, and the National Association of Stevedoring Operators, NASA, graced the event.